The content in this video is for general educational use. It does not represent political opinions or judgments about any country, culture, or government. Information is based on publicly available sources and may be summarized or simplified. Viewers should verify details through multiple sources.
All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever wondered how a nation with these incredibly deep, ancient cultural roots also positions itself to be a high-tech powerhouse in the 21st century? Well, that's what we're looking at today. We're talking about Malaysia, a country that's performing this constant, really fascinating balancing act between its rich heritage and its absolutely soaring global ambitions. And this tension, this pull between two worlds, it isn't just some abstract idea. You can actually see it, you can feel it, and you can even taste it in everyday life. And, there's no better place to start than with something everybody has a strong opinion on: food. So back in 2017, this playful, but let's be honest, pretty provocative tweet from a Malaysian burger joint called My Burger Lab, it basically set off a friendly firestorm online. See, McDonald's over in Singapore had just released a nasi lemak burger. And Malaysia's response? They fired right back with their own version. This whole thing, this rivalry over a beloved national dish, it just perfectly captures these deeper, really passionate questions about cultural ownership and identity in our globalized world. And this whole food fight brilliantly illustrates a much wider trend. For generations, the heart and soul of Malaysian coffee culture was the kopitiam. That word's a cool blend of the Malay word for coffee, and the Hokkien word for shop, tiam. These are heritage institutions. But today, you see them right alongside this huge surge of modern global-style cafes, especially in big cities like Kuala Lumpur. It's the old world meeting the new, literally one cup of coffee at a time. Now, this isn't exactly a new thing for Malaysia. The country has been a crossroads for centuries, right? You've got influences from Chinese, Indian, and Arab traders that have been shaping its culture forever. But today, the pace of change is just so much faster, and it poses this central question that really defines the modern Malaysian journey. So what's actually driving all this rapid change? Let's take a look at the powerful economic forces that have been intentionally shaping the nation for decades now. You can pretty much track Malaysia's modern history through a series of really bold national plans. It all kicked off back in 1971 with the new economic policy, which was all about tackling poverty and economic imbalances. Then came the hugely ambitious Vision 2020, a 30-year mission to become a fully developed nation. And the latest chapter? That's the Madani Economy framework, designed to kick growth into high gear and lock in investment for the future. And if you want to understand the sheer scale of this ambition, just look at this number. To pull off Vision 2020, Malaysia set a target of 7% average GDP growth year after year for 3 decades straight. Hitting that target would have meant making the average Malaysian 4 times richer. That is the kind of bold, audacious thinking that has defined the country's whole economic strategy. And it's so important to see that these plans were never just about the money. The real strategy was to totally unleash the private sector, to pivot the entire economy toward higher technology, and to move beyond just relying on a few key industries. It was a fundamental blueprint to build a more fair and prosperous society for absolutely everyone. But, this relentless drive for progress, it doesn't come without its challenges. This kind of rapid modernization inevitably creates some really complex and often difficult growing pains for a society. There's actually a word for this. Researchers call it liminality. It's that feeling of a cultural misfit, where the traditional ways of life can start to feel obsolete, but the new, modern symbols haven't really been fully integrated yet. It's like a society caught in transition, just trying to find its footing somewhere between the past and the future. And this tension, it's felt most sharply by Malaysia's indigenous peoples, the Orang Asli. As this report from Malaysia's Human Rights Commission points out, for these communities, land isn't just a resource. It is absolutely core to their identity, their spirituality, their whole culture. So development projects often lead to these painful disputes over ancestral lands, putting progress in direct conflict with heritage. The pressure isn't just internal either. On the world stage, Malaysia is walking this incredible geopolitical tightrope. As a major player in the global semiconductor supply chain, it has to navigate this escalating tech competition between the United States and China really, really carefully, all while trying to stay neutral and, of course, serve its own economic interests. Okay, So, facing all these complex challenges, both at home and abroad, how is Malaysia planning its course forward? What's the new game plan? The answer is in this comprehensive, two-pronged approach. You can kind of think of it like a compass and a map. The Madani Economy, that sets the broad direction, the big vision for inclusive and sustainable growth. And the new Industrial Master Plan 2030, or NIMP for short, that provides the detailed roadmap on how to get there. So at its heart, this NIM 2030 has 4 core missions. First, advance economic complexity, which is a fancy way of saying move from just assembling things to actually creating high-value products. Second, tech up for a digitally vibrant nation, basically go all in on digital. Third is a huge commitment to sustainability, with a big push for net zero. And finally, number 4 is to make sure that all this future economic growth is both secure and, crucially, shared by all Malaysians. And just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about here, take a look at the aerospace industry. The plan projects that revenue is going to skyrocket to 55 billion ringgit by 2030. This isn't just a little bit of growth. It's a massive bet on high-tech, high-value sectors to power the entire country's future. And the plan gets super specific. We're talking about direct support to help local startups go global, building out new high-tech industrial areas to boost that critical electronics sector, launching a national digital ID to pour fuel on the online economy, and overhauling tax incentives to attract exactly the right kind of foreign investment. So all of this, it brings us right back to where we started, back to that central challenge, that tightrope that Malaysia is walking every single day. It all comes down to this, right? The ultimate question is, how does a nation successfully engineer a high-tech, innovative future without losing the very soul that makes it so unique? How do you build semiconductor factories while also preserving ancestral lands? How do you welcome global trends while still celebrating the local kopitiam? At the end of the day, Malaysia's story isn't about making some simple choice between tradition and progress. It's about navigating the delicate, the complex, and the constant balancing act you need to have both. It is a daring performance for the entire world to watch.